What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Patrick and this is Valor Aquaponics. I apologize, I have not made a video in like a month, maybe a little more. My excuse is that I started off being really busy here at the shop, and then I ended up getting sick for the last 2 weeks with the flu. Not the other thing, but with the flu. I know when I have the flu. So I just got over that. We are here today at the shop. As you can see, you got the logo. So I'm gonna give you another brief tour of our facility, show you a couple things that we did here at the shop, and kind of going forward of what the game plan is, timelines and things like that. Videos are gonna be a little sporadic going forward, but I should start uploading videos at least, if not once a week, every other week basically until we get our city approval. So let me not waste any more of your time. Let's go and get started. All right, well, I would show you the office, but it's insanely disgusting. So here we started putting up some shelving. This is our germination room. We're gonna have tilapia in here on the bottom shelf. I'll show you all the tanks that we have for it. I'm gonna be breeding tilapia to feed the salmon, or not the salmon, the trout. But we also want to eventually add tilapia to our diversity. So working on this. It should be done maybe next week. So that's the little dungeon room. This is our break room slash cafeteria slash, we have no idea what to call it. So we're gonna be putting more shelves against this wall. And then here's our fridge. It's a mess in here because this wall just got drywalled. I think I showed you guys last time this was just like metal support beams. So here's all of our aquariums. We have 10 gallons, 4 40 gallons. So these are gonna be for the breeding of the tilapia and potentially fathead minnows. We're not sure yet. So then, as you can see, this is all drywalled. Most of the ceiling tiles are in. This is actually going to be for the lights. We have to wait for the electrician. We don't know when they're coming in, but this whole wall is done. We'll have 2 lights in here. So this is actually probably going to be part of my science laboratory for breeding fish. So we were just talking about that yesterday. So here's our main hallway. There's our dirty office. And then, so I decided to put this up. I'm gonna have to touch it up because the contractors kind of dinged it a little bit right there, but I'll get to repaint that. We have plenty of paint. So I just wanted to add a little color to this hallway because it's now all done, and it's gray over here and then blue over here. So it looks really nice. Now we'll go into the showroom, which is our, piece de resistance, So I don't know if I showed you guys, but our logo is on the door. So I don't know why it's not focusing. So there we go. So the logo's on the door, so you come in. Beautiful flooring. You got the gray wall with the accents, and this is something new. So we were originally going to put a 90 gallon here. Unfortunately, I'll show you guys what happened, but we ended up having to replace it with so this is 120 gallons. This is all, aside from the aquariums, everything's custom made. So the bottom here opens up, slides open, and where we have our sump. We have a sump system where we have a filter on top. We have media balls down in here with some media blocks as well. And then this is the filtered water, which it looks dirty, but that's actually beneficial bacteria that we put in there. And then it gets pumped back up to over here. And then we actually have a sump right here and just uses nature, uses a natural vacuum that we create. So we didn't have to drill into the glass. We will be getting a background put behind here so you don't have to see all these cables. So we're gonna get a background in here. We're actually going to be putting some fish in here later today. Maybe, depends on the temperature. The water was a little warm, 69. Yeah, it's a little warm for what we want to put in there. This is eventually going to have nothing but tropical fish. And the tank is actually almost cycled. It's probably a couple days from being fully cycled. It's been running for a good week and a half, 2 weeks. I sped it up by throwing some ammonia sulfate in there, and then beneficial bacteria. So these are all live plants. Everything was done by hand by me. Every rock, every stone was placed in here by hand. Water is a little bit of a tan because of the tannin that's coming out from the driftwood, but that's okay. It's not a huge deal, but you know, I really like how this turned out. This is actually like crushed. It's called oregonite, I believe. So we were able to get a ton of that in because it was on sale. So, but all of these plants are real. We have no fake plants in here. This is real Malaysian driftwood. These are all stones that I hand picked and I actually hand placed in here. So I wanted to make it look as natural as possible. That's why the substrate isn't like level and it's got dips and stuff. I wanted to make it as natural as possible. Plenty of hiding places for the fish, including like over here. It's like a little cave in here. There's little places. There's another little area back here. You know, the fish can swim back through here, back through there, and then actually back behind here too. So a lot of great things going on. We actually mounted that's a 55-inch TV. It looks tiny in this room, mainly because it's a big wall. Maybe we should have gone bigger, but you know, we got a nice little credenza here, filled with our junk right now. So we'll get that cleaned up. Those fishing poles are not for our business. Those I pulled out of my truck because I had to get a bunch of stuff from Home Depot. As you can see, got a lot of stuff going on. So I'll take you into the warehouse, which there's been some changes. For instance, that bathroom is gone. So and they're currently putting in a firewall. So there's this green board, this green board here is the first layer. Then they put on 3 layers of drywall. So they're finishing that up. We're actually putting in a 3-par sink over here. And then we've got all of our racking that's over here. So we're kind of trying to work around the contractors as much as possible. That's from the landlord. That's not our deal. So once again, we're not allowed to be operational yet. Our permit hasn't gone through, but we still have to do things to get ready. So like we have a couple tanks here for some fish that we want to get. So we're cycling these. Once again, we won't be operational till at the very least at the end of July, which will be after we get the permit. We most likely won't even start till probably August. But this is what I was talking about with the 90-gallon aquariums. So we went through 2 of these. That is supposed to be see-through. So that's tempered glass. We found out that afterwards that the aquariums that we were buying had tempered glass bottoms, so you were not allowed to drill. So we actually used the glass cutting bit to start drilling these, and which is the right bit. Only problem is, no matter what you do, you can't drill through tempered glass. So we went through 2 90-gallon aquariums, which for those of you that know aquariums, that's very expensive. So, but the cool thing is, here's our order of Aquascape products. So for instance, these are the Pro Air 60 aeration compressors. So we're actually using them right now over here. So I kind of wanted to demonstrate. I don't know if you guys can hear. Can you guys even hear the pump right now? This air pump right here. This thing is running 2 8-inch air stones in here. And I think the only reason why you can hear this one is because we have air coming out of here. So if you didn't, that's all you would hear. So there's just a mild hum. I would say it's maybe 30, maybe 40 decibels tops. Very quiet. It can actually handle up to 15,000 gallons. So these are 300 gallons each, so that's nothing. So that's more than enough air. So we're actually using the products that we represent. So, you know, we're really honored that Aquascape is allowing us to be a retailer for them. So in return, we're using a lot of their products and then we're going to be selling them as well. So we ended up buying a bunch of Aquascape, those compressors. We have protective netting. We have the 8-inch discs. So we've got a lot of stuff. We have beneficial bacteria. So it's really cool. We're actually going to be putting their banner up here or here, one of these two walls. So we have the banner. Here's our floor cleaner that we got on an auction for a really amazing price. So let's get back to talking about what's going on. So with the city, we're still, so I believe our application passed the planning commission. I received an email from the city planner that stated that they were recommending our application for approval, which means it now goes to the Common Council in July, which I believe is July 18th. And then we will actually be at that meeting, which is open to the public, and then anyone can state yes or no why they want us in the city. If they don't want us, they have to state a specific reason, and then we have to be able to rebuttal to handle any issues and any questions that the city might have in regards to foot traffic and sales and operations. You know, for instance, we're gonna have fish. Are we gonna be processing fish? Which we won't be. We won't do any processing of fish here on our facility at all. And honestly, we won't even have fish big enough to process for at least a year, if not 18 months. So, so unfortunately, we can't operate. We can't be operational per the city. We cannot be operational before the permit. So, however, that doesn't mean that we can't prep. That doesn't mean that we can't build our system. We just can't run the system. So we're going to be getting the shelving up. We're going to be getting the grow beds built. We're going to start building everything so that as soon as we get the approval, we can start filling stuff up with water. We can put in all of our fish. We can start planting our seeds and then get going so that we don't lose too much time, because this process has been taking a really long time because of what's been going on in the country and in the world. So so we've been delayed because of that. You know, that's not the city's fault. It's just, you know, it is what it is. So we're just trying to work within the rules and the regulations of the city. We're not trying to make any enemies here at the state or at the city level. We're not trying to make enemies with our neighbors. So we're just trying to do everything by the book. So, you know, they said we can't be operational. That means we can't be growing any vegetables and things like that. So we're not growing anything on site. We're not growing anything at my house. I mean, I'm growing my own personal lettuce, but that's, you know, that's different. But we won't be growing anything here until we get the full approval from the city. So that should happen within the next 3 to 4 weeks, actually. So hopefully in a month we should be up and running, at least with our first, what we call the mega row, which is 8 vertical grow beds. That'll be enough to actually get us started. And then hopefully once that starts getting filled up, we will then have the funds to build our second grow bed. And then we'll kind of go from there. So a lot going on. Today's going to be a busy day. My business partner Edward's coming up in a little bit, and then he's actually bringing a helper, and then we're going to be doing a lot of work today. So it's going to be a busy day. I would show you guys, but it's going to be nothing but boring stuff. You know, putting up shelving. So I'm not sure if I want to really videotape that and show you guys, but I might show you guys the aftermath of, you know, everything. So I appreciate you guys watching these videos. There's going to be a lot better content going forward once we actually start building and things like that. Unfortunately, right now there's not a whole lot going on, and unfortunately I was sick, so I apologize. But I promised that I will try to make more regular videos, and once we really start building, once we really start getting the system up, there's gonna be a lot of content for you guys. So stay tuned, because in the next month we're gonna start pumping out some videos, and things are gonna get really interesting. So we really appreciate your support. We love you guys. Remember to be the change that you wish to see in the world, and we'll see you guys next time.